Chevalier de la table ronde, goûtons voir si le vin bon. Chevalier de la table ronde. Okay, maybe not. My French is not good enough for today, no, you say? But it's Friday. It is one of my favorite days of the year. It is March 4th. Tullowood already stole my thunder on the chat, but still, the only day of the year which is a command, March 4th. And so you shall. It's not iced tea today because we haven't had warm enough weather to make iced tea. So it's what the English call a fizzy drink, but it soothes the throat and makes me sound like normal. It's the best I got. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is Friday. It's Pi Day Friday, and that means it's drama. I am Dave Rush, senior instructor at Total Seminars, and this is an Ask Me Anything or AMA, and you slam them all together and you get drama. Dave Rush, Ask Me Anything. So this is an Ask Me Anything. We do have a particular focus here, but certainly ready and willing and able to go above and beyond that focus, and I'll take any techno topic. Our bailiwick is Comptia certifications, A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, ITF Plus, some of the other pluses that I am somewhat conversational in, but those are my strong suits. And of course, this is drama. The whole nature of drama is for us to use Raspberry Pis and incorporate them into our Comptia studies. And today we are going to do exactly that not for any of the trifecta courses do you have to know the steps necessary to crack a Wi-Fi password. However, there are terms that you're going to run across that we're going to do and concepts that you're going to run across that are applicable to this. And so I think it's a very good match. It's a very good meld. And it gives me an opportunity to show off some of the power and flexibility of the Pi because we're going to install and use Kali Linux on a Raspberry Pi. Not a particularly awesome feat on my part for two reasons. One, we've done this in the past. And two, all the work and effort and credit goes to those fine folks who've created or ported Kali, and it is the Kali folks. It wasn't done by, a bunch of guys got together and a bunch of ladies got together and said, hey, let's take Kali's core code and rewrite it so that it works on Raspberry Pi. The nice folks at Kali have said, you know what, we recognize that the Pi is becoming powerful and popular, and it's small and it's inexpensive and it's useful. So we're going to mix up a batch of Kali that runs on Raspberry Pi. And, I guess I'm on topic. So it's not a stripped down version or anything like that. It's full blown, does everything. Is there something missing? Yeah, one thing. The Raspberry Pi is an awesome computer. I love them, but they are not the fastest, most awesome computer ever created. And you're going to get better performance out of some full-size x86 computers running it. But for the kinds of things that I've done with it in the past, I don't need a supercomputer, and I really enjoy using Raspberry Pis and on Kali and things like that. Yeah, you knew this would happen. I changed this up. There we go. So it is the first drama of March. I guess we have 4 more of them, and oh man, I love March. There is just so much about March. In this neck of the woods, I'm down in the Houston, Texas area. This is one of the best months of the year weather-wise for us. We're coming out of winter. We're getting the moderate temperatures that are starting to warm up. It's not the roasting temperatures that we get here in Houston in the summer. I can't complain too hard about cold in winter. It's, we get down occasionally into the 30s, sometimes that Fahrenheit, call that the 0 through 10 Celsius or centigrade. But it's, when we get murderous up into the high 30s and low 40s centigrade in summer, that it's worthy of complaint. It's pretty down here. Things are starting to bloom, having a good day. So as mentioned, I am David Rush. I'm the senior instructor at Total Seminars. This is an AMA. Presentation of Total Seminars who, if you are watching this for the first time, you may not recognize the company name, but you will certainly recognize the face of the company and the president of the company and the senior author for the company, Mike Myers, who writes by far and away the most popular Comptia A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus books out there in the industry. We have awesome products geared to support people in their pursuit of those certifications. We've got practice tests and we've got simulations. We've got books, we've got videos, we have videos on Udemy, and on and on and on and on. And lots of other things in the offing. I know we're getting ready to shoot the updated pen test course in the next couple of days. I think shooting starts, and no more than 2 weeks, but a week ago, somebody told me 2 weeks. So we should be within a week or so. I've got some stuff in the offing. Things have been pushed a little bit because some changes at the company have changed my workload a little, but oops, hey, look at that. My collar is all mangled there. All right, do I need that? No, not really. So I am joined in the back channel by Andrew Hutz, my partner in Pi, and Andrew is a moderator here on the forum. You can tell by his blue name and the little wrench beside his name. He is also a researcher, and he posts links and helps identify winners and contests and things like that. Just an all-around great guy. He's a good writer. He writes for us. He is an editor for us. He is technologically knowledgeable. Easy for me to say, yeah. What was I going to do? Oh, he wields Trollnir. He made up that name. That's the Norse banhammer, should he need it. Among his many credentials, an accomplished computer. Boy, I sound like the guy who did the State of the Union the other day, right? Ooh, did I get political? We take questions on here. Anything's fair game except religion, politics, but I'm allowed to delve a little bit because it's my show. At any rate, so among his many credentials, Andrew is an accomplished computer security and hacking specialist. And I did some research on him the other day. I discovered he is a GIA certified gemologist specializing in iron pyrite. In his spare time, his hobbies include collecting molds, funguses, and spores, painting seascapes on spaghetti noodles, and alchemy, of all things. So he's a Renaissance guy. And by all means, you should communicate with him on the chat channel. Do @Andrew. You'll start getting him. And if Andre DeGoyert is here, then you'll see both of their names pop up. Pick the right guy. Excuse me. So what are we doing here? We are here to advance technical learning while isolated during the COVID crisis. This is the 82nd in a series of weekly drama presentations to show how to use Raspberry Pi and study and in real world creations. We do AMAs 3 times a week. Mike Myers himself, the man, Alpha Geek, excuse me, there's hiccups. Now we're due. Does a Monday, Wednesday show at 2 o'clock Central Time. And I do a Friday drama show at 2 o'clock Central Time, all on this same channel. Please join us for any and all of those. We give away, we have a contest that you can win 2 prizes on each of those shows. Total Tester online practice test questions of your choice. Comptia exam voucher of your choice. An exam, we're going to give away an exam voucher today for a Comptia exam. You pick the exam, anything but CYSA Plus. It's good anywhere in the world that testing is available. So, you could be talking about a pricey piece of certification there. Save yourself some bucks. I want one of those because I got to take a test here in the next 10 days. And that one's coming out of my pocket. I might have to call and beg Comptia, hey, you've done so much by giving us so many things. Give us one more just for Dave. That's a little greedy. Maybe not. Let's see. Did that. So it is an AMA. It's Ask Me Anything. And that means the easiest, quickest way to do that is via the YouTube chat channel. If you'll set that to live chat, that will improve your chances of doing well on the contest giveaways. And toggle over with the kebab, the 3 vertical dots. toggle the timestamps on, then you'll know where I'm at as I answer questions, because I read out the timestamps, and you'll know if I've gotten to your question or if I've missed it or if I haven't gotten to you yet. And I will start looking at those in just a momento. If you cannot participate for the myriad reasons in the YouTube chat window, there are other ways. Let me share one with you. You can email me at one of a couple of different places and ways. You catch me at my company email, daver@totalsem.com, or my personal email. Just don't use both, please. drushtx@yahoo.com. Likewise, Andrew is reachable. You got security or hacking questions. He is becoming quite the guru on that. He's Andrew Hutz, so he's andrewh@totalsem.com. We both steam. He's the Green Abyss. I am Blood Rush TX. And so you see the pattern here, right? First name, last initial, totalsem.com. So I'm Dave Rush, Andrew Hutz. Mike Myers is Michael M. If you want to communicate with him directly, he loves to get your emails. He will either respond to you via email or, with your kind permission, he'll discuss your question on his show. Excuse me. While I've got this up, let's take care of a couple of other pieces of business. You can pause your screen if you need to write these down. Over the course of the show, Andrew is going to post a bunch of goodies along here. And Andrew, feel free anytime to post up the, I'll post up this. I think I put that in the list again. And the other usual two that we do at the beginning part of the show. My web server is back up-ish. It's got everything on it. It's reachable at pirsquare.zapto.org. It's no longer at the moment an HTTPS. It's HTTP. I don't have it set up for secure yet, but I did resurrect it. I'll tell you a little bit about that as we go. So what's there? The documents that I use to create my shows, my outlines, my labs, my pictures, my PDFs, all kinds of other goodies. And I've zipped them up every week in a file, and you can download them. They're easy to find. On page 1, there's a link to the downloads page. That's on page 2. And then on page 2, we have every one of the shows that has downloadable documents. There's a couple of them that don't have download documents because we didn't do a project. So, you know, just took open questions. But this week's questions are there. Last week's, we didn't, the server's been down for a couple of weeks. So I've put them in the server, but it hasn't been available. They are there, and the server is now once again available. Pirsquare, pirsquare.zapto.org. And that'll get you to my archive documents. Yay, it's back. I will explain what happened. It's horrible. Oh, is there anything else I wanted to do there? What is this? Yeah, let me take care of all this nonsense, and I can get rid of all this stuff in one fell swoop. Just for the folks who watch our Q&As, we have special deals. Special deal this week is 50% off a bundle that you create by going to totalsem.com. You find our little shopping area there, and you create a bundle. Don't get any of the pre-created bundles. This is the only way this works. You got to pick up an ebook and the matching total tester for that topic. So if you get the A+ ebook, get the A+ total tester practice test question, put them in your basket, and then when you check out, use the code Watson. That's good for since Monday through this Sunday night. Then we're going to change the code on Sunday night, and there'll be a new one next week. But this week's code is Watson. That'll give you 50% off. And you can see the bundles apply to A+, Net Plus, Sec Plus, Security Plus, CYSA+, Pen Test, and Systems Architecture Associate for AWS. It's good till this Sunday night, March 6th. What else is here? There is a Discord server that we do not own or operate. It was set up by Siegfried, who may or may not be on here. I saw him over on the Discord server just before the show started. Some of the moderators for the Discord server are here. It's the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel, UTSD, not to be confused with University of Texas, San Diego. But this is the invite link to it, and Andrew has posted that invite link on the YouTube chat along with that discount stuff. So you can just copy paste that or click on it and come on over and join us. We get together. It's 24 hours. There's over 200 people there, and that's just after a recent rebuild. We lost everybody and had to rebuild from scratch. So it's growing by leaps and bounds. It's got lots and lots of sub forums and areas and study and topics and Linux and Kali and Raspberry Pi and general topics and memes and. At any rate, so we get together obviously 24 hours a day, but after these AMA shows, we usually fire up microphones and cameras and go hook up with anybody over there who also wants to do the same. And then we can hold a little longer conversation. It's a little spicier. We do things very G-rated here of necessity. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to see if I could see something in the thing. So I will be there 5 to 10 minutes after the show ends. There's always something that's accumulating while I spend 2 hours talking to you, and I have to take care of that stuff. But then I get on there. And if you don't have a mic or camera, that's okay. Join us over there anyways. You text, we'll talk. And, if you got a question, if you got a computer problem, you want some help, somebody there knows how to help you. If you have an answer, be the somebody who knows how to help somebody else's question. Okay, it's a lot of fun. Ports and protocols for current Comptia A+ network and Security Plus exams. Why am I putting this up here? Because we do 2 contests on every one of my shows. One of them is for total tester practice tests. Last month, I used the objectives from A+, excuse me, regarding Linux commands. I'm done with that one. And now I'm using ports and protocols from all 3 of the trifecta certifications. So if you want to know in advance what I'm going to be talking about in one of my practice test contests, go check out this document. I will only take information from that document. You can get to it either by going to totalseminars.com/cooltools. And the very first link you see on that page will be to the ports and protocols PDF. Or if you want to go, and Andrew, I think I sent this to you, the one that ends in 2021 PDF. That's current, even though it's 2022, it's current and correct. You can go directly to this link and you'll get to the same document. Today's tutorial, I'll throw that up too. We'll throw this up again a little bit later, but this is in general where I got a tutorial from, and then I had to modify it and build it up to work. But the home site is howtoraspberrypi.com, which I kind of like. All right, enough of that nonsense. Let's go do fun and interesting things like seeing who's here and what they have to say. All right, so 45 minutes before the show started. Thank you very much, Andrew. Andrew says they've all been posted. It is 18 minutes past the hour. So somewhere between 10 minutes after the hour and 18 minutes after the hour, everything that we've just asked Andrew to post has been posted. I'll mention it as I roll past it, as I scroll through comments and questions. So Tullowit checked in 45 minutes before the show with my March 4th pun. Will Shaw is here. Siegfried is here. Okay. He built the unofficial Total Seminars Discord server that's functional at this time. So, we at Total Seminars have nothing to do with it. It's just they use our name, and we're very happy to let them do that. We are participants. I'm not even a moderator on there, but I do have input and things like that. Really enjoy it. Today is the day. Yes, we are going to do this very cool project today. Greetings with a Z. We got lots of Z's in here going today. I super scrolled. Hang on, got to go back and find it. Oh man. Goodness gracious. Busy morning. I got to go way back here. There we go. Okay. So Andre de Goyert is in fact here. Kevin Peter Kokomar is here from South Africa. Welcome back, Kevin. Alan Duggan is here from the what is Scotland's nickname? Land of really good booze. Nah, he's Irish. TD Washington is here, who accidentally won another total tester the other day. Absolutely no fault of yours, and we were very happy to do it. You are now cut off. But the really nice thing about somebody winning before is I can just go and steal from the line in my spreadsheet. Oh yeah, that's where they all were before. Copy it down here, and then all I need from you is the your choice of exams. Christina is here. It's like high 80s, low 90s here. Too warm out. I remember where you are, but I don't know that you want that announced, so I'll let that go. Oh, okay. And it has been discussed. Will was just down in Florida the other day. I like March too. It's my birthday in a few days. Happy birthday. I should keep records and track of all you guys so I can know all this stuff. But I don't, because that's not what I do. I hate when people track me. I don't want to do that to anybody else. Tommy Tucker back. Good evening, Dave. I won an exam voucher on Mike's stream a few weeks ago. I'd just like to say how grateful I am. We are very pleased to award that to you. Hope you've gotten it, but if not, my understanding is things have been happening very slowly at Comptia lately, getting some of that stuff out. I'm seeing stuff go on the order of 3 months, so apologies for that. Unfortunately, we have no, once we hand off to them, there's nothing we can do. If it gets lost, if you never get it, that happens. You little jerk. I've been working on this Raspberry Pi Pico for a couple of days, and it's fighting me with a loose connection. But that's a program that I programmed in there to make that LED blink. We can change the speed on it. Okay, now we're able to move without super scrolling. Okay, so Andrew, in addition to all of his self-learning, has also taken the pen test class on Udemy with our Dr. Michael Solomon. He's a wonderful guy, excellent instructor, knowledgeable. Well, they don't call you PhD because you're an idiot, right? Patricia Grace is here. What you doing today? I am doing the same thing you are, hanging out on YouTube. Mr. R. I am Mr. R. You know that old joke that my dad is Mr. R. Well, there is no more my dad, so I'm the dad now. What am I not buying? Siegfried talking to Andrew over at 208. Will Shaw talking to Andrew. Chris Kent is back. Good afternoon. Nice to see you again, sir. Going for Net Plus on Thursday, says Andrew. Oh, right. Nervous. So let's, yeah, if you want to cover some ground with everybody over on Discord, happy to do that. If you got any specific questions here that would help you and help any other people learn, glad to address that. Alex is here. Ciao ragazzi to you too. I have opened all of your stuff and gotten into it, and it's all gone except the Parmigiano Reggiano, which sits happily ensconced and is waiting for something that's truly worthy of that wonderful gift. Thank you, Alex. Reading questions here, passing 210, lots of people talking to each other. So Pi R Square, the server, it's up and running right now. I'll keep it up and running all weekend. That's foolish. And the Discord invitation permalink for now, posted at 2:11. So please join us on Discord after the show and anytime in the future. Anytime right now. There's people right now who are using that as their own back channel. Can you believe what Dave just said? Wait till you see what Dave is going to say today. I'm going to give you the retirement dates and the launch dates for new and old, A+. Yay! It's official. We've known it for a while, at least I have, but we have not been allowed to talk about it, but we were granted exalted permission on, this is Wednesday. Passing to 11, Andre de Goyer. Oh, the discount special is over, posted at 2:11. Just copy paste that stuff. Makes it easier. Alex, I'm nervous because they might be wrong. That's a new name for me. Santosh Rao. Any Wi-Fi Password cracking method looks like practically impossible to crack the password except phishing with evil twin attack. Does that mean Wi-Fi passwords are actually secure? Wi-Fi passwords for WEP, WPA, and WPA2 are no longer secure. There is WPA3. That is the latest generation. It has yet to be cracked. Every time they come out with a new one, it's uncrackable. You just apply enough computer power and it becomes crackable. So I will teach you how to crack WEP, WPA, and WPA2. Hey, interesting. Yes, I can talk about this. The objectives. I'm not 1,000% sure if I can talk about the new A+ objective. So hold that on. But I will tell you a real life thing. You no longer in real life need to know anything about WEP, Wi-Fi security, WPA, WPA2, and eventually WPA3 to be sure. But in the real world, let's say WEP is gone. Thank you, Siegfried at 219. Yes, TD Washington, you have achieved Mohanedness with an N. Sahil Basia, nice to see you back as ever and always. Thank you, Alex. Hey, catching up on in here. We got a woohoo. And TD Washington, Dave, what are your thoughts on alternative Pi devices, comparable to Pi or waste of money? I have Orange Pis here. I have, can I get one of these out of here in time? This isn't really an alternative. As in a competitor, but it is a fun experimental alternative. I had this in my hand the other day. It's not in this bag. I know that. It's got to be in this bag. Let me answer your question while I'm digging here and shouting so the microphone will hear me with my head down. I have no problem with alternatives and competitors to Raspberry Pi with the following caveat. They do not have the support and infrastructure and user development base that Raspberry Pi does. Some things will work just fine that are generic. Some things will work fine that are designed to work on Raspberry Pi. They do work on other things. I got a thing. I purchased a thing, a specialized LED display one time from a gent in Arizona. I'm not going to find it. I have one more place to look, and I think I see it. And it worked just fine on the Raspberry Pi. It did not work on the, it didn't work natively, plug and play, ready to go on the Orange Pi. So I worked on it for a while, did a couple email exchanges from the gent who designed this board, got some ideas, and together we made it work on that. So they're fine. This is a really fun little microcomputer. It's called the Microbit. You can pick them up when they're on sale for $10. And don't pay more than that. There are people ripping people off like nobody's business. How big is this, you ask? It's this big. It's got a little CPU in there. It's programmable. It's got 4 buttons built onto it. These little black buttons here. It has this expansion card, and they make things for that, but I've never needed it. And one of the really awesome, cool things about it is, oh, there's some more buttons on the back. And there's expanders and there's LEDs on it, and there's another button on the front. But one of the things I really love about this thing is it's got a little RFID, not RFID, a little RF transmitter receiver in there. So you can put 2 of these things together and get them talking. One can become a server and one becomes a client. You can pass data back and forth between them. They are just a ton of fun. I got a couple for my kid and his college buds when he was a freshman, and they just had a ton of fun. Now he's been too busy to play with things like this. He plays with Raspberry Pi, but I like them. I like all the good competitive products. Again, notwithstanding the fact that there is not a large infrastructure of support for them. Will Shaw, I need 220 and 301. or earlier so I can go over MS-DOS. Thank you very much. Okay, BeagleBone. BeagleBone is a fine product. And Michael Myers, who works here, as you well know, sorry, Michael Smyer, even I get their names confused sometimes, is a big fan of BeagleBone. All right, moving on. That catches me up on questions. Let me go back to, what are you doing? There we go. To my outline, see what's going on, see what I missed here. We did that. We did that. Oh, just zipping through pages and pages and pages. I've done that. Pi r square is back. So what happened to pi r square? One day, 3 months ago or so, Raspberry Pi came out with a new version of the operating system, and I jumped the gun and I did an in-place upgrade from the old operating system that was Buster to Bullseye. It was not a correct and complete upgrade, but it worked and I was happy and fine with it. And every time new updates came out, I would install them, and there are a couple machines that gagged right away that I run in here, and I had to blow them away and do fresh installs and then reset the software on there that I use for them. But the web servers, I have two of them, a development one and the live one, they were working just fine until an update 3 weeks ago. And then they died, and the symptoms were weird. And I believed at that time that the fault lay elsewhere. Well, after I made some phone calls and did some testing, and I killed 9 hours last weekend while the wife was out of town, struggling and fighting and kicking and screaming. And finally I said, well, I'm going to back up what I can out of here. I'll back up all the files and the configuration files and things like that, and then smoke the installation, do a fresh install, and bring it all back. And lo and behold, worked like a dream. So it was the fact that I had mixed operating systems running on there. I still have a couple Pis that I have to do that for. I have to smoke and reinstall because they too will experience flaky problems and no longer be functional. But more than half my Pis now have been fully upgraded with fresh installations. I'll tell you, one of the first things that failed was my Pi hole. That's painful for me. Let's see, where we've been, where are we going? So last week we did a Comptia topic, flashing firmware. But what we did isn't the traditional firmware flash that they have in mind for instance, updating your BIOS or your UEFI, or changing the firmware in a router or something like that. But conceptually, it's exactly the same thing. You get a file and you have a specialized program, and that specialized program deletes the content of a current flash ROM, and then it reads the file that you've downloaded, put on a storage device or whatever, and loads that program into the firmware, the flash ROM. And so that's what we did with a Raspberry Pi. We changed the firmware in Raspberry Pi to add a new function, a new feature to it. So now I can take a Raspberry Pi with a blank micro SD card, put it in the slot, power it up. And it says, well, there is no operating system on here, but hang on, you're powered up. Hook up your network if it's not already hooked up, and I will call out to Raspberry Pi corporate headquarters and download the Raspberry Pi image utility. And then you can run that, select an operating system that you want to go on this blank card, and answer a couple questions, and it will install the OS straight to the card. So you don't have to have another computer involved. And that's what flashing the BIOS and flashing firmware is all about. It's because something new or cool has become available from the manufacturer, or a fix for something that's old and bad. And so we get rid of the old firmware, add the new firmware, and either fix a problem or add new functionality. So that's what we did last week. It was fun. This week, we're going to install Kali Linux on a Raspberry Pi and then use it to crack your own Wi-Fi password. There's good news and bad news to this. I've been pushing it for a week and a half or so once I found out about this. It is not a panacea. but it's good. And so I'll show you the 1.5 issues that prevent it from being perfect, but it's very good. Oh, I can get rid of that. Hey, cool. Save that. Okay, let's check and see questions on there. It's 35. We're doing good on time. See what new has happened whilst I was yammering. Will Shaw did that one. Beaglebone. Oh, there's only 3 things popped up. Pi are not square, pi are round, cornbread are square. I love that joke. I have been doing that joke for decades. And I can flesh that out into a 7-minute presentation joke, but yep. You idiot. Pi are round, cornbread are square. What are they teaching you at that big university down there? Yeah. I got another project, by the way, that I've added to my litany. I threw this past some of the folks on Discord channel this week. And let me see if I can bring this down without killing it. I have here a little 1x1, it's 0.96 by 0.96 OLED display. And you can tell kind of sort of that I got 4 wires connected to it. And right now it's scrolling 4 lines of text. Yeah, I put pictures on here. I put messages. I put all kinds of goodies on there. If you were to purchase in the US, all of the hardware necessary to do this project, it will be $10, $10 US. You'd only need 3 things. You need the OLED display, which is 3 or 4 US bucks, 4 wires, 4 DuPont wires, which they silly overcharge you. Buy a bundle of 50. That'll cost you $5 or $6. And that's the same thing as they would charge you to buy 4 wires. And a little breadboard. You saw that little breadboard I had was about 2 by 3 inches or so. Maybe not even. How about 1.5 inches by 2 is what that looks like. And that's $2 or $3. And that is enough to get you going. I'll get you all the information if you want to do it. We're going to do this project. I'm going to do it. I'm going to demo it. If you want to recreate it, cool beans. I'll give you some sources on where to get it. In fact, let me tell you right now where to get the wires and the breadboard. If you're in the US, go to, darn, can't think of the name of it. I shopped there, all electronics, one word.com, and get the little small breadboards and get DuPont cables that have female on one side and male on the other. That matters. You could also skip the breadboard and get female. You can go straight from the Raspberry Pi straight into the OLED, the display, and skip the breadboard, and that'll save you $3. But having a breadboard makes life a lot easier for circuit development and design later. Wow, Andrew Hutz asked a very interesting question. How do you feel about Proton Mail and Proton VPN? So I've had Proton Mail since it came out. I was one of the very first subscribers. You want to send me a Proton Mail? drushtx at protonmail.com or proton.com. I don't remember which it is now. And I have had Proton VPN, an account on it, for a couple years. I never used it. Last night, I needed a VPN for a particular site that was pushing theirs. There we go. And I didn't want to use theirs. I said, why should I? If I have to, I will, but I got this Proton VPN. So last night, I set up my Proton VPN. I did testing with it. I tested it, I guess, when I first got it a couple of years ago, but set it up and actually used it last night. Works like a dream. I have the free version. There are paid versions, and there are more higher paid versions, and there are higher paid versions. They give you a little more performance. They give you a lot more choices on the locations of the virtual private network servers, the reverse proxy servers. I like them both. Now, here was a problem. Last night, I went to get into this thing. I haven't been in Proton Mail in a long time. I document my passwords really well, but I wasn't getting in. And so I had to reset my password. Well, your password is what's used to encrypt your email contents on the site. And if you change your password, you can't get to your old emails. Now, I never used that for anything important. So when I went in, I had to delete every email, and most of them were advertisements from Proton, and a couple of them were tests that I had run. So there wasn't any big concern. I took that into consideration before I said, yeah, I'm going to change this password. But don't lose your password on Proton Mail. It is encrypted mail, and your password is what's used to provide that encryption. If you have to change it, you will not be able to get to your old encrypted emails anymore, only to any new ones. Yeah, paid Proton VPN. Okay. I'm not willing yet. If I find a site that I need a VPN that will only be available through paid, I really have to need it, then I'll do it. But all right, back to notes then. How are we doing here? It's 40. So I'm into news, tricks, and techniques of the week. So I mentioned this. Pi R Square is coming back to life. It's functional right now as a non-secure network this week. I got the big painful project off my plate, so I'll have a little bit of breathing room in the evening. I'll get it secure again, and it will be just like it ever was. Progress on my secret circuit. I'm patenting this one. It'll be a utility patent, but this one's cool. But here's the progress on it. The sample quantity chips have shipped from China. I've got 10 for prototypes, shipping from China. I don't know how long it's going to take. I got tracking information, but that doesn't mean anything. And their ETA is strictly darts on a calendar. I have no idea. I ordered custom cables. Quantity 50. They have not been made yet. Because for some odd reason they want money, and I have no problem with that. Here's money. How much? And they have not yet told me how much money I have to give them for these things. But once they come in, I have quantity 50 of those coming in, because even if this project flops, it is a cool kind of cable. Upcoming tasks, the prototyping. Got to get bugs worked out. This is a 40-pin chip, so I can't do it on my little breadboard. I got to do it on a big full-size breadboard, and it's complicated. Let's go with that. Once the prototyping is done and the bugs are worked out, then we do circuit board layout, acquire the rest of the parts that I need for the circuit board. They're all off-the-shelf stuff, thank goodness. Then we produce the circuit boards. We create the solder paste templates. I don't do that. That's something you contract out. And then finally, we design and make the enclosures. I'm envisioning, this is something that if I had everything in my hand would be done in a week, maybe two. But because I am so dependent on so many other services, and because I have to wait for things coming from far away, I'll bet you this doesn't happen until March of next year. But it's okay. Hey, apropos of nothing, next topic. Does a fully charged battery weigh more than a dead one? It's March. So today, March 4th, we got March 8th coming up. Big deal, you say. It is for me because the kids coming home for spring break. They're still not doing a lot of spring break stuff for the college kids. Most of them are either hanging out on campus or going home, as it were. So kids coming home, I get a week with the kid. That's a lot of fun for me. March 14th, Mike is going to do a show on Pi Day. 314, right? March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, which is celebrated hugely in the US, but not where St. Patrick was from. April 1st is coming up. Everyone's exhausted because they will have just completed a 31-day march, and April 1st is one of my favorite days of the year. I have a video ready to shoot. I got costumes, I got scripts, I got cameras. I need people and actors to do this, but if we can do this, you know how companies do April 1st videos that are spoofy. I have the ultimate spoof, and I've had this script in the can for 4-5 years, maybe. And there's time. If I start on it this week, we can get it shot in a couple of days, edit it in a couple, and then figure out what venues we're going to release it on. So, plus, I will probably do something fun for our show on April 1st because we have a show on April 1st. Okay, here goes the big news. Comptia Instructor Network, SIN, they call them sinners, got a sneak peek on Wednesday into the future of the A+ program. I have not been active in Sinners, been a member forever, but I don't watch the shows. I don't go for the most part to the Train the Trainers or whatever, but this one I wanted to be in on. And I learned something very interesting. It is designed for instructors who one day Comptia says, here's the new book, here's the new objectives, here's how we think you ought to teach it, and off you go. Our world is a little different. I'm an instructor, I do all that stuff, but I get the information way sooner because we write the books. And so there's not much new that happens, news in there that was appropriate for me. In about an hour and 40 minutes, I got 3 factoids that I found useful, and 2 of them I'm going to share with you now. The other one happened an hour and a half into the show, but the rest was just reading the new objectives and identifying what things were new and what things had been dropped. And we got that in spades. All right, so here's what we know. When are they going to get, no, you know what? I'm going to do this in reverse order because that's shocking. When will the new exams be released? You ready? You sitting down, you writing this down, you're going to commit this to memory. There's a couple different release dates, different categories of people get different releases. The one that everybody gets, I'm a student, I want to take and pass this just like everybody else. April 20th of 2022, the new exams, 220-1101 and 220-1102, general release date, April 20th. So today is March 4th. That's a month and 16 days to, so call it give or take 6 weeks from now, just a hair over 6 weeks. So there it is. When can I take the new? Well, I wouldn't take it right now unless you've already got study resources. There are very, very, very few providers of courses and books and things like that that will have materials released by that date. Some will. I turned in my chapter yesterday. I don't write. I can, it's just not my job at the company. And so Mike said, hey, we're shorthanded. Here's your chapter. It's the easiest chapter. Just add a little bit, pull out some of the obsolete stuff, and off you go. And because I'm not a participant in the writing staff for the 11 years that I've been with the company, I've always been a researcher, and here, write me a paragraph on this topic. I can always do that. But having a chapter and being responsible for the whole thing, it took me 2 weeks or so to get my chapter written. And it's because I don't know the policies and the procedures and how the formatting and the layout works. Now that I've spent 2 weeks to do that, if it gives me another chapter, I can do it in 3 days. But okay. All right. Here's the other one. When are they going to retire the 220-100X? We were shocked. We were shocked. We were stunned. We could not believe this date. It's going to happen so much quicker than we ever imagined. They have their rationale and they explained it, but here it goes. When is the last day you can take a 220-1001 or 220-1002 exam? August 31st of this year. August 31, 2022, last day to take the 220-1001 or 220-1002 exam. Okay, so at the end, they gave me the third piece of information. Apparently, this is old information. Everybody knew this. I didn't. What if I buy a 220-1001 or 220-1002 exam voucher today? It's good for a year, right? Well, does it die on August 31st? The answer is no. It's good for a year. You can use it and apply it to the new exams. So there's going to be a very short overlap. Usually there's 6 months of overlap, May, June, July, August. There's going to be 4 months and a week or so of overlap on this one. It's still not too bad, but if you buy a voucher for 1001 today, it's okay. It's good for a year and you'll be able to use it for 1101. Well, there it is, man. That's okay. You can sign out now. You got what you wanted. Lots of people attended this meeting. I've seen it posted in a few places on the web, some of the Comptia, the Reddit sites that I hang on. But I'm the first one that I know to actually do something that is an official announcement to the public. I did ask them, can we tell our students this? Yes, you can. Okay. All right. I know. I needed a drink. Other news, tricks, traps, and techniques. The new Picard from the Star Trek series airs this week. I was just thinking about the Orville show, the Seth MacFarlane kind of takeoff on Star Trek that died very quickly after season 2 because of COVID. I was just checking their website today. They are coming back in June of 22. I like that show. Anybody who knows anything about when Discovery, the latest seasons of Discovery already came out or coming out, let me know, right? Send me an email, tell me on Discord, whatever. I can't find it. Next week's, okay, now one of important news here. Next week, this coming Monday, Wednesday, Friday, AMAs and dramas will be at the same time that they are right now. Normal time, 2 o'clock Central Time, Central Standard Time. However, next Sunday, the US, except for Tullowit, and I think parts of Indiana, will change clocks. We will spring forward, which means if you don't change clocks where you are right now, the shows will be 1 hour earlier. There you go. So it'll still be 2 o'clock Central Time for us, except it'll be Central Daylight Savings Time instead of Central Standard Time. Did all that, contest. So I'm going to be doing a contest here in a couple of minutes that is going to be using ports and protocols from that document that I showed you. Get it from totalsem.com/cool tools is the easiest way to find it. It'll be the first link on the page. It's a great big link. All right, another section in here before I get back and look at questions. Old unanswered questions, things that have been posed to me either here in drama or while I'm working back channel on Mike. There was a question on Mike's show the other day. What is a priority port? I didn't know the answer to that, and it was because of a context issue. A priority port is a setting that you apply to a particular port on a particular managed switch that supports spanning tree protocol. It allows that port to not only participate in spanning tree protocol. So if you give this port a priority, you give it a relative priority. All of the ports in a switch and a managed switch that supports STP, STP, have a priority. But if you give this one a higher priority, that'll be the port that gets permission to be the boss of spanning trees. So if you do that, if you assign one a high priority value, that's the port that you should use to connect to another switch. I got 47 hours more of information on that. Download my documents from pirsquare.zapto.org and you can read about it. It'd take me 3 hours to cover everything you need to know. Next question I got, this is the second and last questions to answer. I wanted to know what I think of EVNG. Well, there's no such thing as EVNG, but I figured out what the asker was talking about. It's EVENG. EVENG and EVENG Pro is a virtual network environment simulator. The difference between the two is basically with the Pro version, I've got switches and I've got hosts and I've got servers and I've got routers and they're all simulated in this environment. If I add a new device, it works the second that I add it into the emulation, as opposed to the consumer edition. When you add a new device, it doesn't work until you reset the emulation. Okay, so that's cool. So what's it good for? Well, ostensibly it is good for two things. Prototyping your network environment, because it's really cool. They have all the popular network appliances, the Cisco routers and the Unity switches and the man, I had it at the top of my head, and shoot, it's the name of a berry that starts with P. Anyways, they've got all kinds of selectable equipment. So you bring that into your environment, you hook it up to the other pieces of equipment, and now you can test multi-vendor equipment working together in this emulated environment. The other thing that you could, should, would be able to do with this is to learn from it. Well, maybe. If I'm a network expert and I know how to use this thing, I can use it to teach others. But if you're going to use this thing to self-learn, you got to know so much about networking that there's, at least if you're studying for something like Net Plus, that this is way more than you'll ever need. If you know how to install and configure the emulated environment and emulated equipment in this environment, you don't need it to study Net Plus. So it's a cool thing. It's a cool enterprise multi-vendor environment simulator. It's built on Ubuntu, and it's very cool. The community edition is free. The pro edition ain't. One of the really awesome things about it is it generates real capturable simulated traffic. So you can use Wireshark in that environment or TCP dump and capture packets and stuff. So that's kind of cool. The question was, what do I think of it? It's cool. It's too complex to use as a network environment self-learning tool, because like I said, if you know that much that you're able to set it up and use it to create a learning tool, you already know more than you need to know. I'm going to put one link up. Andrew, if you would post the link to Tullowit's site. Tullowit has posted some new videos, including one that's a marvelous beach scene. If you just want to chill and watch gentle waves wafting their way up onto the beach, he's got a really awesome new one. So Andrew will post the link to his site. He's adding, he has slices of life in Hawaii that he posts up there. It's very cool. All right, let me check questions, and then we're going to get into the TTL practice test giveaway contest. So I left off at time mark 2:30 with Mars Monster. I love Mars. Andrew, how do you feel about, okay, we covered that one. Tullowit, I have paid Proton. That was the last one I finished. My voice is my passport. Verify me. Yes, like Valentine's Day, David Mitchell. Good to see you, my friend. Your intel was right. Yep. I thought your intel said the 26th, not the 20th, but that was just a quick glance, so maybe not. Alex, Tullowit, the new A+ is waiting for you. Yeah, so it's all good news. Ish. I bricked my Kali install. Got a reimage. Okay. Easy enough to do. You know that. Last season is 4. Came out 2 months ago. Okay. Well, I caught the one 2 months ago, I thought. Maybe I only caught the first 3. The last one that I caught was the one where Saru went home and Michael was restored there. Not giving away spoilers. So if there's anything that happened after that, let me know. That's where I got to start catching up. I like Seth MacFarlane's voice work, but his shows where he's a face actor, just can't get into. He's a good writer. He's got great voice. Oh man, he has so many voices. Ulysses Farrar, long time no see, amigo. Nice to see you, man. How y'all been? I like checking with everybody. I have to get up earlier to watch the AMA. Yeah, that's right. Gonna screw up your life here. Okay, so Andrew posted at 2:57 the link to Tullowit's YouTube site. Enjoy it. He says more video coming soon once he finds his dead cat. I'll let people ask you what that means. I'm not going to explain it. I don't have one around here. I got mine. My dead cat's upstairs. Mine's a dead wombat because it's from Road. Kevin Peter Keckmore. I'm going to go with that. Someone asked me if a system admin shares a hidden shared folder on a file server, where do you find it? You got to know it's there. You can't find it unless you have administrative powers and can override the hide. So they're going to have to give you the UNC to it, not URL, the Universal Naming Convention, or specifically tell you where it is and what it's called. Tullowitz says at 3:00, David Rush, question, is heat shrink the best way to replace a crumbled mic wiring covering? Is it flexible enough? I have heat shrink repairs to microphone cables and to speaker cables. So yes, get good stuff. All right, that's getting me caught up. Let's do a contesto. This contest is going to be for 90-day access to any Total Tester online test that we have. Only am I going to do that here? Yeah, only one entry per person. This is not going to be a multiple choice question. This is going to be a fill in the blank question. There are 2 blanks to be filled in. I'm doing ports and protocols this month. So I'm going to start out easy. Okay, if you're not into ports and protocols, you don't know it, then no matter how easy I make it, you're not going to know this one. But I've given you the tools and the resource that you can do some research on. And I'm only going to do this for the month of March. I'll move to a new topic of questions after March. So in the 220-1002 Core 2 exam objectives, Comptia wants us to know certain network ports and protocols. So I'm going to limit this month to the A+ ports and protocols. I'm not going to make you learn the ones from Security Plus or Network Plus that aren't also, or that are not in A+. So that's going to make your life a lot easier too. The actual objective says compare and contrast TCP and UDP ports, protocols, and their purposes. So I'm going to give you a sentence. I'll post it up here on the screen. It's got 2 blanks for you to fill in. Please fill them in order. You got to get the number right. If you typo a little bit on the spelling of the word that's in there, if I can figure it out, I'm good with that. So the first person with the right pair of answers on the same line will win 90-day free access. Andrew will have a how to claim your prize queued up, ready to post with your name probably on it. Once this thing is up and posted. So let me go get the question and share it. All right, are you ready? I'm ready. Share screen. That's the screen to share. Here comes the question. So fill in the blanks. 2 answers required. The blank protocol is used to conduct an unsecure terminal emulation connection to a host on port blank. So this is a name of a protocol. This is the number of that same protocol. This one's easy. I found you a whole bunch of right answers. I am barking up the wrong tree, but I'll let that run for, I don't know, 30 to 60 seconds or so. And if you see somebody posted the right answer ahead of yours, that doesn't mean that I've seen it yet. Yours may get here before theirs does because of, the way YouTube works. So don't give up because you see the right answers. You see the right answer happen a minute ago, it's probably already up on mine and Andrew's systems. You can win Total Tester if you've won Total Tester in the past, or if you've won a voucher. So this isn't a one-time and you're out thing. So if you have won a voucher in the past, you can win another one with this contest. Because what do we got? Like 20 people in today so far. 19 showing right now on my list. All right, let me start looking at how the answers are flowing. Oh yeah, not many here. Andrew, you're just going to keep throwing in Diffie Hellman until I put up a question where that's the answer, right? Well, it's a good thing you passed, Will, because no. Okay, Andrew, who you seeing? I see somebody. Will, if your second answer is correct, I'm not saying that it is or isn't, you can't win because you did more than one entry. Alan, just so you know, those two do not go together. Really? Okay, I see a different. Oh, they said pass. I see what happened. Okay. I'm glad you said that because I saw somebody different here. Yes. Andrew and I are in agreement about who won this one. So we have a winner. Let me save this. Let me move this over here. And I got to do a couple quickie things. Stand by. And then I'll put the winning answer up. And then we will announce the winner. There were multiple people who got it right. Some people are not the winner because they chose not to be the winner. And other rationale. All right, let me get to this page here so I can put this winner's name in there. And Andrew, you can go ahead and post the how to claim with the winner's name on there. I'll be done with this in seconds. Oh, really? Aren't you clever? 04, there we go. Winner's answer. Okay, that's safe. So the right answer, let's post that first. Come here, you right answer. There it is. And now we share it. Click and click. And share. Thank you. The answer was Telnet is the name of the protocol, and port 23 is the number of the protocol. The Telnet protocol is used to conduct an unsecure terminal emulation connection to a host on port 23. The secure protocol has a different name and a different number. And somebody over here posted something interesting. They post Telnet and port 21. Telnet is the right name for the protocol. Port 21 is the FTP protocol number. Wow, that didn't share right, but that's all right. I can fix that. Let me go reshare this just so you see my answer sheet the way it was supposed to be. There it is. Okay, here it goes. Looks pretty and shiny and new. So Telnet, 23, Telnet protocol used to conduct an unsecure terminal emulation. FTP is not secure, but it's not a terminal emulation program. Okay, our winner, congratulations, come here, you, was Mr. G. Mr. G, congratulations, you have won a sausage fingers, okay. You've won a 90-day access to Total Tester. So check out the instructions at line 306 that Andrew posted at time 306. Send me an email to daver@totalsum.com. You must have all this information in there. If you're missing something or typo something, I'm going to send back the words incomplete. Please resubmit the whole thing with the missing information. So Mr. G, you're going to send an email to daver@totalsum.com. In the body of the email, okay, a lot of people blow this part. Give me your YouTube name, Mr. G. Give me your real name. Okay, don't make something up. It's not Mr. G, it's Fred Gwynn or whatever it may be. The email address in the body of the email that you want us to send your access code information to, and the number of the exam that you want practice test questions for. Now, if you want A+ exams, that's cool, but you got to say 220-1001 or 1002. You will get them both in the case of A+. Don't say Net Plus because there's two sets of Net Plus exams. There's N10-007, N10-008. You get the idea. Whatever the exam number is from Comptia, or we got non-Comptia tests on there. I need the the test number in there. All right, very good. Congratulations to Mr. G. You won last week, so you passed this week. Okay, thank you, David. That was very kind to let other people in. Hey, let's talk about our project for the week. I'm hairy on time. I know it looks like we got an hour to go. I'm going to zip through this quickly. If it goes too quickly, just go to the pirsquare.zapto.org server and get my notes, and it gives you everything that you need to know step by step. All right, portion was did that. This week's project, we're going to install Kali on Raspberry Pi. I'm going to tell you how to do that, show you the links for that. I've already got it installed, and that's going to save me. You can do it in between 12 and 20 minutes. If I started this a half an hour ago, I'd actually run through the whole thing, but it's very, very, very easy to do. And then once we've got Kali installed, we're going to use it to crack the Wi-Fi password for your network. So the first thing I want to talk about is why I keep saying crack in quotes. It will not tell you the actual password. What it's going to do is it's going to figure out a hash of the password, and then it will need a dictionary table to go through that's got all the passwords that are possible. And what it does, let's say I've got a list of 10 possible passwords, and the first one is password. So he's going to read my list and say, okay, there's password. And then he's going to generate a hash of the password. And then he's going to compare that against the hash that he was able to get from the Wi-Fi network. And if they're a match, he says, okay, the password is password. And if it's not a match, then he goes to the next item in the list. Now, with this package we're going to install, there's a list of 200,000 common passwords in there. And it takes my Raspberry Pi, did I use a 4 for that? No, I used a 3. It takes 6 minutes for mine to go through 600,000 or 200,000 entries. And then I downloaded a 13 gig list, and it found it, but it did take a few days for it to find it. So this isn't something you're going to do when, man, I'm going to hack my neighbor's password. I'm going to hack my mother-in-law's Wi-Fi password. I'm going to go park in front of her house and hack it in 20 minutes. You can do that. Okay. You do the capture and get the information you want. You got to keep your Pi running and then bring it home and park it and, you know, let it do its thing. But you probably won't find the password in the default list unless somebody's just got a really weak password out there. And there's 200,000 really weak passwords, right? All right, so that's how a dictionary attack works. So my first attempt did not find a match in that 200,000. Again, it took 6 minutes to go through that. I covered the process here. This is one of the ways that cracking works, especially if you're doing what's called a dictionary attack. All right, so what do I have to do this process? First of all, you got to do 2 downloads. And I don't know if I posted these for Andrew to post. If you have the websites, Andrew, for Belina and for Kali, go ahead and do that. I'm putting mine up right now, just on the off chance that you don't. There are 2 websites that you got to go to. Why is that not? I don't care. They're separated by a space. That's good enough. You got to go to the Belina.io site and download Etcher. You'll see my links here at 313. And then you've got to go to the Kali.org site, and you can see the full link in here, get-Kali/pound Kali-arm. That will download the ARM version of that. And then what you'll do is, just like we've always done in the past, get yourself a blank micro SD card, something like this, put it in a micro SD card reader writer, put it in your computer where you've downloaded Etcher to, and burn the image that you've downloaded from the Kali site onto that card. You pop that into your Raspberry Pi, works on 3s, works on 4s, works on 400s. It'll probably work on 2, but that's a pretty low performance CPU. I don't think I would do that. And it installs in about 12 minutes or so, including the reboot and the refresh and the auto update. And now your Kali machine is ready to go. You can run it from keyboard and mouse. You can run it from VNC. VNC is automatically enabled, and the default account name and password for Kali, whether you have the ARM version or an x86 version, is Kali for the username, Kali for the password. Simple enough. Yeah, that question was, no, Andrew, the last question that we did was not for a voucher. It was for practice test questions. We're going to do the voucher after the project. So Mr. G, you want practice test questions. If I said voucher, I apologize. I do misspeak. So what other equipment do I need? I need a Raspberry Pi. I need a micro SD card, 16 gigs or larger. If you're planning on keeping Kali and running it and playing with it, get a big card, 32 or 64 gigs. If you're just setting it up because you want to do this lab, 16 is fine. You'll need a reader writer, and you will need a wired Ethernet connection. Yes. Yeah, if you're going to VNC to it or if you're going to SSH to it. So the process, we download Etcher from balena.io. We download the image from Kali, kali.org. Write the image to your card, stick it in your fresh, shiny new Raspberry Pi, boot it up, it'll reboot, it'll refresh, it'll update, and 10, 12 minutes later, my 2 downloads and the burn took a total of 12 minutes. So it all happens pretty quick. Configure your Pi, keyboard, mouse, monitor, wired Ethernet. If you're going to be going over SSH, would do everything here on the command line. Install your card, and then apply power to boot it up. Gets resized, repartitioned, rebooted, updated, and whatever. All right, now it says we're going to connect to it. So let's do that. Let me get Putty up and running. And what is the address? Okay, it's 106. 192.168.1.106. Open. I know you can't see it. Log in, account name Kali, K-A-L-I, password K-A-L-I. All right, I'm in, and now I'll share with you because I like you. All right, so that's what the current Kali prompt looks like. Someday when I do a full Kali class, I'll explain all those loops and parentheses and all that stuff. We don't need that right now, don't care. So that's why I need a wired connection. No, you can't do your connection wirelessly because you're going to lose wireless access to anything other than hacking as part of this process. If you don't know the IP address of your wired connection, use your keyboard and monitor and run the command IP space, what are you doing? IP space A, and you'll get it from ETH0, 192.168.1.106, or you could use a program like Nmap or Angry IP Scanner or Advanced IP Scanner and scan your network and find out what that is and connect to it. You should also be able to find it by the name, whatever you named your host. Mine is Kali-Raspberry-Pi. And I had a problem connecting with that, and I'm wondering if it forced this space in there. I didn't notice that before, but since I knew the IP address, I didn't work on it. All right, here we go. Here's the actual project. Step number 1 is to confirm that a wireless interface is installed and active. So all we got to do is run in the command iwconfig, interface wireless configuration. And all I care is that you see WLAN 0. Okay, it doesn't matter what's in here. If you see a WLAN 0, you've got what we need. Now, let me talk a little about the wireless interface. In order to capture packets for hacking on a network, you need a network interface card that operates in what's called promiscuous mode. Normal network interface card operations can only accept frames that have 3 headers on them. A unicast, a header that says the destination MAC address is the one that's in this network interface card. 2, the broadcast address. It can receive anything that's addressed to 48 ones or 12 Fs. And multicast address. There's a multicast category of stuff, and it's basically all of the network interface cards that come from the same manufacturer. In fact, the same manufacturing batch. Promiscuous mode says this card is allowed to accept any frame no matter what the destination address is in. And used to be you had to buy special network interface cards that supported promiscuous mode. They all do now. It's just an issue of the driver. Will the driver enable that function? So the wireless interface in the Raspberry Pi does support promiscuous mode. So the first thing we're going to do now that we know we have a wireless interface is to kill any process that's trying to use that thing. This is a fresh boot for me today. Everything should be fine, but you got to do the process. So it's sudo airmon-ng space check kill. Check for anything that's using the air monitor interface. And if you find anything, kill it. And he goes buzz, 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 grind, grind, grind. There we go. So there are 2 processes that happen. The DHCP client had to get an IP address from there, and WPA supplicant part of the security system. But okay, so that's a necessary step. And again, all this is documented in the tutorial. Did I post that tutorial? No. And I can, and I should. Let me go back up here. I also didn't read my warning, 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 warning. Do not do this on a network that you are not authorized to do this on. This may have serious legal consequences that you would not like to participate in. Okay, so I got Andrew, you probably have the tutorial as well. I'm 90% certain that Andrew has the tutorial. Back channel me and let me know if you don't. How's that? And if you don't, I'll post it from mine. And then just keep an eye about right now. It's 22 minutes past the hour. I see Andrew typing and posted tutorial. So at 22 minutes past the arrow, Andrew posted the tutorial where I got a lot of this information from, but I've also added a lot of my own. All right, next step is let's turn on the wireless interface in promiscuous mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to, sorry. Okay, here we go. Click in here. I'm going to sudo airmon-ng again. Start WLAN 0. And one of the things you have to do is put an O in airmon. Oh, you goober. There is something new about this interface. That I can't right arrow to replace an old command. Okay, sudo airmon-ng. And now we've turned on promiscuous mode. So in about 10 seconds, you should get a message like we see here. This happened a little quicker for me than it has in the past. And here's what I want you to notice out of this. It has now created a virtual interface for this thing. That's what we're going to work with. So there's my physical 0 WLAN. The fact that it's called physical 0 WLAN 0 is actually the virtual interface. And so we're going to start gathering some information about SSIDs that are in range. How am I doing on time here? Okay, 24, we're all right. Sudo, and this time we're going to use arrow dump, AIRODUMPNG, and then the name of the virtual interface. Did I lie to you about the virtual interface? WLAN 0 mon, where it is. WLAN 0 mon. Okay, yeah, we'll just dump the phys 0 part. So WLAN 0 mon. This is a really cool utility. And what we're doing here is gathering information about nearby SSIDs, and this power value, it shows us the order of powerful SSIDs. This ABD is mine. So I got a neighbor who's got a stronger network than mine. Or maybe that's my Wi-Fi printer or something like that. But ABD, what I want to do is see what I can see here. Later on, I'm going to get another list like this, and you have to pay attention to a line number that's going to be associated with this. But once we're done with this, once we can see the list of things and we can pick a potential target or targets out of there, then we're done with this. And again, this is in order of strongest to weakest. So what is all this stuff? I would read it to you. I'm short on time. Download my notes from pirsquare.zapto.org, and I have full explanation of what all these categories are. Okay. There, I just saved 6 minutes. I do care about the cipher and auth, however. These things are going to tell me a lot about how they've been secured. And you can see that ADB, I thought it was ABD, I'm backward on that, is a WPA2. Now, down here, there's a lower half to this screen that's hard to see, but I don't need it. All right, identify your target, close the scanner by pressing the Q key. And you actually have to do it twice. Look up here, I pressed Q once, it says, are you sure you want to quit? Yeah, it went away. Q, Q. Hit it twice, and there we go, it's gone. All right, so I saw that what I want to hack is visible to this machine. That's a good sign. So here we go. Now we're going to start the actual hack. We're going to run a program called Wi-Fite, W-I-F-I-T-E, and we're going to get some warnings about some missing files, some missing programs. It's okay. For the hack that we're doing, we don't need those, but if you just look at the title of the missing files, missing programs, and you sudo apt install them, these are other crack utilities that you can use, and it works with Wi-Fi. And then we're going to have a problem here. This thing is going to gather so many that I'm not going to be able to get to the bottom screen, but I'll show you how to get around that. So here we go. I'm going to do sudo Wi-Fi. Let me catch something here. I'm going to see if I can catch it before it's going to disappear. I get 54 WAPs. 54 WAPs when I do this, and it causes my control screen to go off page. So here we go, sudo Wi-Fi. I know there's a lot more junk on there. I'll get to that. Here's my 3 failures. Hey, you didn't have the pirate kit installed or the other 2. That's okay. So look at this thing rolling here. There's 58. I got some new ones up here. I got to scroll up and find out which one ADB is. I don't know if it's 1 or 2, and it's polling so frequently. All right, when you're done, I know that it's up there, and I'll show you how to get to it. I hope I can get to it. I got to see it. Okay, it's 2 on this line. These are also ordered by strength. So line 2 is what I need. And you can also see the colors of this stuff. Green is the strongest stuff. Blue is next. Yellow is next. And all these dBs over here give you actual signal strength readings. That's pretty powerful and useful information. So you can see down here what to do next. When you're ready to attack a target, you're going to do Control C. Okay. And I didn't hit the enter key after that. I just did Control C. Yeah. Did he miss it? Okay, no. So he's done his thing. So now he says, select your targets. If you want to hack multiple targets at the same time, you can. You select line number and then separate them by commas. I wouldn't try that on a pi, and I certainly wouldn't try all. So I'm just going to put in line number 2 on there. And now what's going to happen is he's going to start listening to ADB. And he's going to try and find a client that's connected to it, and he's going to deauthorize the client. That's going to cause it to disconnect, and then the client will try to reconnect. And it's that reconnection process that my program is going to try to hack. He will also be listening for anybody who just happens to be connecting at this same time. All right, here goes. We hit the enter key on number 2, skipping some stuff. I've already cracked it. It's saved in a file. I should have deleted that file, but the process is really simple and straightforward. You're just going to see it loop there, listening. And when he finds somebody that he identifies, he deauths it and then watches the reconnection. If he doesn't get a deauth or isn't able to deauth somebody in 6 minutes, he will abandon the process. Now, what you have to do if that happens is one of 2 things. The quickest thing is to reboot Kali and start from scratch. But you can also wait 10 minutes. Now, I haven't tried every value, but I know that waiting 10 minutes, you can start over with Wi-Fi again, sudo Wi-Fi. And once he's got that deauth and he cracks the handshake, then he's going to go look through the file. Now, let me tell you a little bit about these files and how you can do better and get better. And this is going to wind up. This is really quick and painless. Notes here. Oh, you're going to see failed attacks. A pixie dust attack is going to fail. A null attack is going to fail. A pin attack is going to fail, and a pin attack is going to fail. You can make those all work just by installing those attacker programs. Very easy. We also saw a message about the PMKID fail. Same thing. And here goes the handshake. And again, if it fails, wait it out a few minutes. Try smaller, try shorter than 10. But if you try it too short, sometimes you'll do something and it'll just hang. And then, you waited too short and you have to reboot at that point. But what I've got here is the 5 commands summarized. Again, download my notes and you'll see you got to run iwconfig. You actually have to run iwconfig again and sudo airman ng check kill, sudo airman ng start wlan 0, and sudo air dump ng wlan 0 mon. Quit out of that with a pair of Qs and then run sudo Wi-Fi. When your WAP turns up in the field and you know what line number it is, Control C and then put in the line number and it'll start hacking. Now, where is this file that it's going to look for? Again, it's documented in my thing, but there's a file called wordlist-probable.txt, and it's in the /home/Kali folder. Sorry, home Kali, sudo Wi-Fi dictionary home Kali. Yeah, okay. Well, what you can do is get any text file with a list of passwords that you want. And you can put it anywhere in your system. So let me show you what I've done here. I think I'm in my home directory, pwd. Yeah, that's home directory. So I created another file here called wordlist-probable.txt. It's different contents than the default wordlist.probable.txt. And it doesn't have to have that name. You can give it any name you want and any extension that you want. Let's take a quick look at it. Cat wordlist-probable.txt. There's 206,000 entries in this file. There's the D's, there's the W's. Oh, they're not all alphabetical. There's words in here. There's numbers in here. There's common word number patterns in there. I haven't catted this in the past. I have no idea how long this is going to take. There we go. So there's a password, and that includes the asterisk. There's somebody who's got a password out there that's common, star 1 2 3 4 5 6 star. They'll all have at least 8 characters because WPA and WPA2 mandate a minimum of 8 characters. So here's number patterns. Here's number word patterns, 1 2 3 QWERTY, UIOP. You get the idea. Now let's see. I think it's too big for me to be able to show you the beginning of the file. Yeah. So I cheated with this one. I put my WEP password in this file as about the 3rd or 4th entry in there. So when he started hacking, he tried the first one, checked the hash against the first entry against the hash that he found. It failed. Did it on the 2nd, failed. Did it on the 3rd, failed. Did it on the 4th. It's a match. You're cracked. So that's the problem with the dictionary attack. You've got to have a file that has a password in there. So if you've got a really challenging password, you're not going to be able to crack it. And neither is anybody else. And that's probably the lesson here, right? Now, where you wonder, I'm going to stop the share on this thing. I'm done with that. Where can I get more and bigger dictionary files? I'm glad you asked that question. I know that I didn't put this on the back channel thing here. Okay, so I lied to you earlier. The default word list is in user share dict, D-I-C-T folder, and it's called wordlist-probable.txt. It's a 2 meg file. It's got 200,000 entries, 203,809 to be exact. And I downloaded a totally different one from their support site that's got 212,000 in it, plus mine. But here's where you can go and get, first of all, another very common one. I'm posting it in the chat feed right now. It's over on GitHub in a project called Oh My Bagosh. And the name of the file is rocku2021.txt. Remember, in Linux, everything is case sensitive. So if you use this one, you put it in your home directory, put it anywhere you want. And then here's how you access it. I'm going to share one more time with my Linux box again. Share, come over here. There we go. Didn't want to blow it up. And here's the syntax documented in my notes. /dict for dictionary, double dash, not double slash. -- dict, and then the path to the text file that holds your passwords in. If you go to that link that I sent you over github.com, omabagosh, they have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of files in there, including one that has 13 billion entries in it. So that one takes a while to hack. And that's it. That is the project. So no, it's not a panacea. It won't reach out. It won't watch a Wi-Fi network and say, I've captured the packet or the handshake, and here's the password that was used. It can only get a hash. And you can't backward calculate a hash. A hash is a one-way calculated function, right? So it's got to be able to compare that against a dictionary table whose contents will be hashed and compared as the process goes on. But it's still pretty doggone cool. Did I save an image of what the, yeah, I did. I saved an image of what the crack result screen looks like. Let me share that with you. So this is the page where we ran the Airmon monitor command, so we can just see all the sites in there and their relative powers and things like that. And then here was the Wi-Fi running initially. I did a screen grab of that. So there was ADB. And it was locked in red. Said, I can't figure this thing out. That's okay. And then I stopped it, selected a line, and then this is the result, the failure result. How's that? Is this one the fail result? Oh, no, it says cracked. And here's the password that was in the dictionary table that it found a match for, 3B9CF 13C6A. I set that one up temporarily. That's not my current Wi-Fi password. For those of you who are coming to Houston in 4 days, I'll give you my password if you want it. But that's the cool thing. And then it saved the result in there in a JSON file for future. So is there anything else in here? Oh yeah, I showed this to somebody with highlights. So now this says WPA. This screen can't distinguish between WPA and WPA2. I assure you that this was WPA2. So it did a WPA2 handshake, came up with this value eventually, 3B9CF13C6A, had it there a couple of times, and then here he gave it in a little more clear text. This is the password for the ADB network. Is that cool? I know it's not perfect, but it is cool. All right, let's do another contest, and then I got something to talk about, and we'll wind things up here. We got 19 minutes to do. That's going to be just perfect and a half. Let me close this. I don't need you anymore, and I don't think I need. Oh yes, no, I'll need that one more time. All right, contest time. How many people we got playing here? 15. Oh man, your odds are good. If there is nothing but past winners, I'm going to give it away as a second time. Somebody missed the boat here. You should have hung out for the duration, but our body count is getting short, and I may have to, as I've always known, have to give a duplicate. So if you've won before, go ahead and take your chances. If I find a winner who hasn't won in the past, I'm going to go with them first. But if everybody's already won one, and we're talking about vouchers, then I'll give a second voucher. Woo! All right, notes, rules, stuff like that. So this is the contest for a Comptia voucher, good for any Comptia exam voucher except for CYSA, anywhere in the world that Comptia exams are offered. Winner, you're going to send me an email with some info that Comptia needs in order to issue your voucher, and that's who you're going to hear from when you've won sometime in the next week to 3 months. The way things have been going, you're going to get an email from them that's going to give you your voucher number and some other information on there. And then what you do is you go to Pearson View and you apply a voucher, and it'll ask you for the fields that they've provided, and you just type that stuff in, and that's how you pay for the exam. So you're going to schedule your exam and pay for it at the same time. We make this as fair as possible. I make it fair by using a random number generator, right? I'm human, I make mistakes. If I pick the wrong person, I pick the wrong person. They're still the winner. Well, my word is final on here. I use a random number generator. I picked the first number. I didn't look at the number and say, you know what, I'd like a better number. I have done that in the past, but I stopped doing that a little while back. And this one, if this were the past, I would have said, oh man, I got to generate another number. But I said, nope, let's make it fair. We'll use technology. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a range of numbers. You may submit 2 entries because my range of numbers is much smaller than usual. And I don't want to go hunting for closer and closer numbers. So you can do 2 entries, 1 entry per line. I don't want to see 1,2 on the same entry. Give me a 1 and then give me 2 or whatever the range is going to be. And then closest to without going over. Are you laughing, Andrew, in the background? Is going to be the winner. Andrew and I are going to be watching for these. So here goes the contest. I'm not missing anything. No. All right. The range today is between the number 1 and the number 500. Small range. And that's inclusive. So number 1 through 500 inclusive. You can put 2 guesses. Closest to without going over wins. You have 1 minute. I am unclear on what Andrew is telling me on the back channel. Let me go see this here. He won the voucher by mistake. I'm clearing it up. He won testers before. That's okay. He can win tester again. You can multiple win testers. I'll let that go. And again, anybody can participate today. I'm going to pick, if I can find one, a closest to who hasn't won in the past. But if that's not possible, then I'll pick a previous winner and they can get a second voucher. Nobody is Mohan. Am I getting his name right? Yeah, David Mohan. Nobody's Mohan today. Everybody gets a chance. All right, so let me take a look and see what numbers are popping up. Oh, we got lots of numbers popping up here. Tell a wit. I like some of you are using numbers that maybe by coincidence are popular port numbers. Oh, wow. I know that name. And right now, as I look through the list, you have a winning number till I find somebody who's closer. Guys, you're not going to believe this. I got an exact match. I have an exact match. Which means you can post in any numbers you want, even if you post the exact match. The other person here got the exact match dead first. Let me update my files. Andrew, you can prep the how to claim thing. This is so cool. I want to see if this person won before, just out of curiosity. No, he has not won before to boot. I assume it's a he. Oh, Ulysses, you only get 2 guesses, my friend. What are you doing there? I'm going to give this to a winner who has won in the past. The person that I was thinking it was has not won in the past. Oh, wait, you know what? Ulysses, you had an exact match. I am not going to have you win because you got 400 entries in there. I'm going to go with the person that I saw who had a closer match, or not a closer match, but a, oh man, Tully. Where'd you go there? Hang on, got to read the notes here. This one, there it is. That's the one that I'm going to pick. If somebody got closer, I'm sorry, but it was just way too many guesses. You know, you got to guess the whole number list the way you were going, Ulysses. So I'm going to let that one go. And let me post this on the back channel real quick, who I've got as the winner, so you can prep that message. Now I'm going to put this in 2 files, and then I'm going to announce the number and the winner. Stand by. Sorry about this overhead. Good. I'm glad we're in agreement. So that's cool. This goes here. This goes here. Winner was names goes here. Okay, I have everything that I need. We are ready to announce the winner and the number. The number was 499, and both Andrew and I agree that, notwithstanding Ulysses' many guesses, that the winner today is going to be Ayub Boucher, Bouchetab 471. I'm so sorry that I'm mangling your name here, but it helps that you won. So that will take hopefully the sting away. So Andrew is going to post the instructions how to claim this, and copy and paste those and follow those instructions. I'm going to put them up on screen and read them, so there is no question about clarity. If you make a mistake in this and it's not what I want, I'm just going to send you back an email that says incomplete, please resubmit with the correct information. So you got to copy and paste everything that I'm telling you to do here. And I need that today because I send this stuff out tonight. So Ayub, you're going to send to me an email. You're going to send it to daver@totalsem.com. It's going to have your YouTube name in it, exactly as we see it here with all the unpronounceable stuff that I mangled. Sorry about that. Your actual name, your given name. And if you've registered with Comptia in the past, use the same name that you have registered with them. In the body of the email, I need your email address. Again, if you've been registered with Comptia in the past, use the same email. Tell me which exam you want to take, specifically and by number, 220-1001, 220-1002, and 10-008, whatever the Comptia exam number is. I need to know the country in which you plan on taking your exam. And if that country is going to be in the United States, you must also include the state. That's everything that you need to send me. You get that to me today. I will get that to Comptia tonight. They will react as quickly as they react. I think what I'm finding is that setting things up out of the US does take a little longer, and I apologize on their behalf for that. And I didn't mention, we're not giving these away. We are the vehicle who gives them away. These are coming from Comptia, and they have very graciously come to us and say, hey, would you like to give away Comptia vouchers for us? Yes, thank you, Comptia. We would love that. It helps us get viewers. It helps us get vouchers into people's hands. So congratulations, Ayub. So pleased for you. All right, 8 minutes left on show. Let me see if any questions popped up that I need to talk about for a few minutes. Ulysses, you had 499 and 432 and 222 and 300 and 250 and 137. You were going to win one way or the other, huh? What's the price is right for an exact bid? You get something extra. Yeah. You get Mohand. All right. So 349, Ayub. Andrew has posted the instructions that you need to copy paste. So absolutely, congratulations. You're very welcome. What was the number? It was 499. Vegas Brent. Okay, that takes care of. If you got any more questions, go ahead and post them. I'm going to talk about determination. A couple things to talk about for shutdown. If any questions pop up before they do the actual shutdown, I will do that in a moment. And otherwise, we will wind up here in the next 7 minutes. So, not doing that. Upcoming episodes. Where did I put Mike's notes? There it is. Okay. Things that I've got up and coming here. Next week, we're going to do one more Cali project. We've done Cali in the past, and I fought and screamed and cried and struggled to get a good working VNC to it. Problem solved. They have built in a VNC server. They have provided an appropriate VNC client, and it doesn't work. But there have been plenty of other people who documented the ways to make it work. I've tested it a bunch of times. Heck, let's prove it. Let me get VNC up and running here because I got a minute. There it is. Okay, I'm going to run it, then I'm going to share it. Nah, I'm not going to show you that screen. It's just silly. And I think when the screen goes away, it'll disappear. My password is Callie for this one. It's a VNC password. All right, now I got something to share. Share screen. And this, my friends, is the current iteration of Callie, the current version. This is running on a Raspberry Pi. It's ever so cool. So we'll install the VNC server, the VNC client. The server is already up and running, but we do have to activate it. And there's some neat tricks about that. The whole thing is going to take us 15 minutes or so to demo. And then we'll do a quick look over about the latest new things that are going on with Callie. You see this traffic here? That's network traffic that's going on. And we'll just call that cool stuff. So that's what we're going to do next week. Let's close that. After that, Minecraft is my plan. And after that, Andrew and I are going to do Nessus on Raspberry Pi. It's going to take a couple of weeks to learn. Andrew, I would like to start working on that with you this coming week. I got a little bit off my plate. My next big project on plate is I've got to fix a computer that came back on Monday and Tuesday, and then starting Wednesday, I'm doing that project that you and I are on the same team for. We're on the same team for two projects, but the one that also has the New Yorker working on it. So I'll be starting on those things, but I plan on doing 5 of those per day, and that gives me time to work on Nessus. So with you and I start on Wednesday, if that works for you, we'll start figuring this thing out. Next week, Monday, Mike's got a feature tentatively planned. I don't know if he's going to get to this on Monday or Wednesday, or even if it's going to get pushed, but what he announced on his Wednesday show is that he's going to answer a question that came up, on his Monday show, that came up the other Wednesday, and that is an N10008 objective. Compare and contrast MPLS, multi-protocol link support, with MGRE. So we'll get into that. I've also reminded him about a couple of other features that he has promised to do in the past. And he forgets if I don't remind him, and I'm the one who fell down here because I haven't reminded him, but hopefully he will in the near term talk about NMS versus SIEM, SIEM. And Alex, if you're still here, certification pathways, I have reminded him again, and I will beat him mercilessly around the head and neck. All right, let's see if any questions have popped up. And then we wind things up pretty much exactly on time. Great show. Thank you, Alan Owens. Enjoyed this one. I know it was a little rushed. I dragged out the first hour and I had to kind of push to the second hour. Please, if you want to do this project, it is all documented carefully, step by step, what to do if this happens, what's the website to get that from. I will keep PyR Square up and running for the weekend. pirsquare.zapto.org. And if it's down and you're watching this on the archive later, send me an email, daveR@totalsem.com or drushtx@Yahoo, and say, hey, I need it up. You tell me when and what time you want it up or whatever. I'll send you back an email that says when, and it'll be up and you'll be able to download it. You're very welcome, Ayu, Will Shaw, Dave. Tuesday, you have an Ubuntu box for fix with sound issues. Yeah, drag that around, will you? That'll be good. And we'll have a vending machine. I have cool things in mind. There will be pictures that will get posted for a Tuesday event that is in the offing. All right, well, that looks like we got everything wound up here. It's 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. That gives me a chance to do this. I will be on Discord 5 to 10 minutes after we do the shutdown here. So, as ever and always, many thanks to Andrew Hutz for his incredible help and support. He does yeoman service on the back channel and the front channel. And, contact him if you got anything about pen testing or hacking that you want to know. If he doesn't know it, he'll get you in the right direction. My thanks to Mike Myers for giving us this resource and time. And of course, my highest gratitude to all of you who come here to participate. I am Dave Rush. I'm the senior instructor at Total Seminars and resident PI specialist. I wish you a great weekend. Take care of each other. Take serious steps to stay healthy. Call or visit your parents. And never forget, technology is great, but the greatest resource we have are you and I. And so with that, I bid you good night. We'll see you on Discord in 5 or 10 minutes and at the AMAs next week. Until then, I am out of here. This presentation was recorded before a live audience and is a production of Total Seminars. No animals were hurt during the production of this program.